now the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Hastert, for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. A couple of questions I want to ask, and very quick answers if I could. Ms. Dugan, in European Union, and you're talking about, is it intra or inter trading? Do you trade within a country, all the trading with UK, or would you trade with Germany, for instance?
We trade with any facility or any trader in Europe can trade with any other facility anywhere in Europe.
All right. So what, to me, I'm just trying to look through this thing. You know, so you have the environmental benefit goes to those people who are low emitters so they're under the cap, and so their producers are not necessarily their customers aren't necessarily benefited from the low emissions if they sell the credit. If they sell the credit then to somebody who emits more CO2 over the cap, then that cost is passed on to that company. They buy those credits, so there's a cost, and then that money is passed through to the consumer, right? So electricity prices go up.
Electricity prices go up.
And emissions basically stay the same, right?
It depends on the overall cap.
Well, let's say in your country itself, say the new plant that you brought in on Teesside, the big plant that burns natural gas off the North Sea, is huge, and so it has very low emissions, and you take and sell those credits then to somebody down in Wales that has a coal plant that's not very modern. So you have somebody trading caps or trading credits here, and so people, the coal costs go up to those people who buy that energy, and at the same time the price is set, plus the emissions are set at Teesside. Is that correct?
Yes, assuming that.
Very good.
Yes.
Then let me ask the gentleman, Mr. McLean. You know, when we put in the SOx and NOx emissions, and we did when the EPA and others did this clean air thing, was the commercial ability to clean up SOx and NOx available?
There were several options available.
So the commercial ability to do that was available. How about the commercial availability today across this nation to take CO2 and sequester it?
Those options are becoming available. It depends on where you set the cap. If you don't make it a stringent cap, there are plenty of options to reduce 5%. If you set a cap at a 50% reduction, yes, you would have difficulty.
All right. And then, Ms. Smith, basically you said prices on CO2 cause cost of coal-fired increase almost 200%. So that cost of is that the cost of putting this on the facility itself, or is it the cost of buying the credits and passing them on to the consumer?
That's the price of buying the credits when they were at the highest level that occurred in the EU ETS system, which was about $35 a ton of CO2.
Have you done any projections on, let's say, our coal-fired plants in the south central part of the United States, so Virginia and West Virginia and Ohio and Indiana and southern Illinois, and the coal coming out from those plants? What kind of increase in cost might there be? Any idea at all?
It depends, as Mr. McLean was saying, on the stringency of the cap. But if you set a cap at about a 50% reduction, such as we did do under the SO2 market, you would probably see prices very much in the range of, well, tens to hundreds of dollars a ton of CO2 to get a 50% reduction if we were trying to do it with current technology in today's world.
So what, for instance, would that cost be when you pass that on to a producer per kilowatt hour? Or not a producer, to a customer?
Well, the price increase in coal-fired generation doesn't translate to, say it's a 200% increase. That does not translate into a 200% increase in the cost of electricity.
I'm just saying,
Consumer.
I didn't say that. I said, what would that?
Right, but when you try to say, well, what would happen across the whole electricity system at the same price, it would be perhaps a 20%, 30% increase in the price of
20 to 30%
consumer
the
price
cost of electricity.
Yes.
Thank you. My time's up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Hastert. There being no majority members in the room other than the chairman, and the chairman having to go vote, I am going to exercise the option of recessing the committee momentarily. I think our vice chairman of this committee, Mr. Butterfield, will be